And we are live. Here we are. I'm Gwen Peterson, and this is
Denise Flood. Happy Three Kings Day.
Happy Three Kings Day.
You know, it brings to mind, if I can be humorous right off the bat,
No, you can't do that.
I
It's too
can't.
soon.
Okay,
Too soon. No,
tell
go
me,
ahead.
tell
Be
me when.
humorous. Be humorous.
Okay, somebody posted the comment. If the three kings were women, they would have asked for directions, got there early, helped with the birth.
And taking care of the baby so the mom could get some rest.
Right. It's just like, is that
Yeah. Instead of
hilarious?
like a week later, we're celebrating it.
Right. Because they're like, let's follow that star. No.
Too
Always
funny.
look for the light. That's my take on it.
Talk about light. Your light is making you look
This
not
light
that light. The light in front of you is giving you a.
too dark now?
Does it have an adjuster on it?
It might. It's new. Okay, everybody, are you ready? Too much?
Okay. Does
Wait.
it have a color change on it? Like
It does. Bright and something. I used
try
it
the
last
something.
and the something. I used it last week, but I used my phone. And so, is it better if I turn it off?
Because I have one too that sometimes you have to adjust the yellowing
How is
aspect
that?
of it. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, this is
This-
the cool white setting.
Okay, cool white looks better. You were getting a little too brassy there.
Well, I was feeling a little brassy.
You were feeling a little sassy is what you
Yes,
were.
yes, it rhymes with that.
So
Which
that looks
also then I'm gonna
good.
laugh because when we're talking about that whole, interesting thing, if it was women or it was men, and I thought, I have my own dichotomy going on here today because, of course, I always bring my beautiful tapping world healing cup with every to represent the light and where you're on. And then I looked at my coffee cup again and I'm like, it's the same one. Yet despite the look on my face, you're still talking. And I'm like, should I keep them on opposite ends of the table?
I think that they should be blended to create a new. Pour a little world water into that coffee mug. My mug
Think I've had enough?
today.
No.
My mug today is vision.
Vision. Oh, I
And
love that.
mine probably is backwards because I am not mirroring
Am
right.
I mirrored this month, this week, today? No.
No, yeah,
No.
so you're doing the same thing I'm doing. So anyway, mine says, let me read it because you couldn't read it. It was vision. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. Walt Disney.
I love that. I have a book someone gave me for Christmas called Inside the Magic, and it's like the creativity process. So I'm looking forward to finding it in my stack. Right after I finish my puzzle.
Yeah, right. Have you started the puzzle?
I
That's
have.
right. You did. You started it last time we talked. Yeah.
I have, and it is flustering me. I sometimes I don't know when we will be able to use the dinette table because it's obviously going to be a month long or more. Maybe I should put an S on that project because after a while my eyes glaze over.
Right. Not to dive too deeply into our puzzle discussion again, but I did start my wood puzzle because I got 2 puzzles for Christmas. A wood one that's a picture of me and Misty in London, and the other one was a gift from Misty, which it was funny because I shook the box and I said, okay, this box is either going to be Lego or a puzzle. And she started laughing and I opened it up and it was a Lego puzzle.
Oh, you were right on both counts.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And just to touch a little bit more on our talk about puzzles last time, I looked at the what is it? The competition, the puzzle competition. And so you start out, they have singles, pairs, teams. So if you were doing it by yourself, they give you 4 puzzles that have not been available. Okay. And you pick one if you're doing it by yourself. And you have to be able to do that. What you're shooting for is being the quickest one to complete 1,000-piece puzzle in 90 minutes.
Okay, if they were numbered, like I could do a puzzle that was a sequential numbered puzzle.
That was like 90 minutes. This puzzle I've put in 90 minutes a night, and it's not even half done.
Those are professional dissectologists.
I was going to say, what's the name for those people? Because you alluded to that the last time.
I did put it in the post, but it was way down. Professional dissectologist.
Dissectologist. Do you
So
know?
we're amateur dissectologists.
Do you know what
Or
puzzlers?
Puzzlers.
What?
Yes, puzzlers is a word.
Yeah, dissectologists, puzzlers. Do
Maybe
you know?
we're puzzlers and they're dissectologists.
Right.
That's a little weightier.
Do you know what it means? How to say this? I can spit this out. How people who like to puzzle. Do you know what that means?
People who like to puzzle.
Yeah, the characteristics.
The characteristics of them? No, do
Yeah.
tell.
They are people who tend to be very focused and detail oriented. They tend to be the people who can see more detail than most people.
Okay, I can see the detail. When I'm doing tasks, I'm not necessarily detail orientated. So maybe that's why I'm just a puzzler and not a dissectologist.
There you go.
But there's
There
hope
you
for
go.
me. I get out my genius oil and like.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I probably should open this up on the chat. I got a chat thingy over here. I'll put it there because we are live streaming. So if
I didn't
anybody
know
is
that.
there, silly us, the last time we did it, we were live streaming. We did not switch it over to chat, and we had people chatting with us.
Oh.
So I had to go back. I went back in and commented to people, and I apologize to our folks who were following us and listening and answering us. They were like shouting out mirror at us when I was grabbing for the word. So anyway.
When I dropped off because I managed to mirror, but I didn't manage to stay on.
Yep, there's that too. And then I cut you off at the very end, and I'm going to have to give us a 2-minute warning because we're only going to be able to talk, let's say 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 15. What do you want to do? Because I'll give you a 2-minute warning because I have a 1:30 appointment.
Well, let's do 12:20. I like those numbers. Or 12:21.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 12:21. I will try to make
So then our warning has to be at 12:19.
So that we wrap up, so I don't have to turn us off when we're in mid-sentence again.
Yeah, it always catches me like I'm like, why do they do that? Like you do this wonderful YouTube video or something, and then they pick the one shot where you're like, like, here you go. It's like all the rest of the time, I'm like, yay.
I know. They catch you like right as you're, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's never the most attractive screenshot of the series. So yeah. Oh, there we go. So cheers to January and New Year's, and
Cheers to you as well.
it's
Any
beautiful here. Oh my gosh.
It is. It is downright gorgeous out there.
I was
There's a
I
guy
was
fishing. Actually, there's a guy out just walked by out fishing in the lake.
Wow, do they stock your lake? Like,
They
can I
do
come over
not.
and catch dinner?
They do not stock the lake. You know, the lakes in Florida, for anybody who's listening in, and I know we got somebody who's listening in. We're here in Naples. That's why we have people fishing in the lake as opposed to ice fishing. Um, the lakes down here, I've asked around. I'm like, how is it that these lakes have fish in them? And I guess that fish can just make their way through the aquifers and into the lakes.
Well, we do have that because we're on coral and it's porous and there are
Yeah, so I guess the fish just make their way, these little fish, and make their way into the lakes, and then they propagate themselves. And then I think sometimes the fishing birds, you know, the Seahawks and the eagles and you name them. There's a bunch of them out there because I know you contend with them trying to eat your koi fish, eat your koi out of your koi pens. But I think they drop fish in there too. You know?
They could. They do lose them occasionally. We do see battles over the canal of them in the air, like that's my fish. But maybe next week I'll take you on what we have done to safely deter those fishing birds and keep our fish safe. And it's an ongoing. Oh my
Have you
word.
ever tried fishing line?
We have fishing line over one of them, but there's such a variety of fishing birds here, and the
Yeah.
heron, the great blue, they can land and just stand up. And so for that, the fishing line, they have figured that out. So we actually have nets strung across our more shallow pond, which also we needed to tweak because one got caught in there and I had to rescue it
Oh
and take it
no.
to the conservatory. I
Oh
thought
no.
I thought it died. I called them and they're like, "We'll try to send some people out," because as I'm pulling it like with a broom trying to get it in, I saw it move, and so I called them and they were like, "We'll try to get people. Can you, you know, they couldn't." I put it in a box,
What
like
kind of bird was it?
it was a great blue heron.
Oh my God, one of
And
those really
and
big
they are
birds.
huge.
They are
And
huge.
it
They're as
got
big as
it
a person.
like it went under the net and it went to, I guess, swallow a fish, stuck its beak up and got caught and was like, and I'm like, of course I'm alone. I look out with my morning coffee and go, what is that in the pond? And it was just, I'm short. It was like right out of reach. And so I don't want to fall in the pond. I'm holding on to a tree branch with a broom. And finally I got it in. I thought it died, like it exhausted itself, but I saw it blink and I called them and I'm like, oh my God. So I threw a towel over it and put it in a big like Christmas box. And I'm like, put it in the back of my car because they're like, if you want to let it recover just in the yard, but its feathers are probably soaked. And that's what happened. And I was afraid something would attack it. So
Right.
I'm driving there and I hear boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, please don't get out of the box while I'm driving. I cannot have a great blue heron behind me in the seat. Like,
Oh my
oh,
gosh. You
but
know, you live a very exciting life.
life in the wilderness. I was out walking in my back 40 yesterday and I'm like, we have to do that one day. There is a reason why the people before us didn't clear it and we didn't clear it, just to have that acre of woods, just that wilderness. I don't think it's a full acre, but it's
Yeah.
all overgrown and there's little paths and you can see where the deer, and just to stand back there and listen and just not hear anything but the birds and like, watch where you're stepping
Mhm.
because I don't want to step on anything that might go, it's my woods, but
Right.
but it is just so, especially like today, it was just so gorgeous. I'll have to
It
send you
is. It's
a little
beautiful
video.
out there. It is beautiful. And, we've lived in the estates out in Naples, Golden Gate
I
Estates. And
remember.
yeah, we had similar lot, the with 3/4 of an acre, and it was wooded behind us. And yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. And you know what? That's one of my glowing reports on Naples is that they have the preserves all over,
Yes.
and the preserves are all connected for the most part so that the wildlife can move through the communities, which, the snowbirds and the tourists sometimes don't like, when they see, you know, alligators and panthers. And it's like, well, or bears. Wait, I got bears playing in my pool. It's
Right.
like, don't go out there. Stay
We
inside.
have some new neighbors on the street, and I don't think they thought it out when they moved here because
They don't.
since they've moved, they've managed to put up fences 6 feet, and then inside of those fences. So, like, it's like, why didn't you just move in town? Ugh,
Stay up north in a city or Tampa. You could go to Tampa or Miami. Those are, I think, animal-less because, I don't think people understand Naples.
right,
We live in the Everglades.
right.
This is the edge of the Everglades.
Well, and we have a canal at our street dead ends, and we have a canal like most of the homes in the
The
estates.
States,
And you see the birds, you see the occasional alligator. I
yeah.
mean,
And then,
yeah,
I'll say this lake behind us, because I'm down in East Naples now, okay, down on the
right.
East Trail. And I'm surprised I've yet to see, and I've been here, what, just over a year, yeah, just over a year. And I have not seen an alligator in that lake.
Well, that surprises me because my mom was up on 41 in Imperial, and every year, and it was so you when you talk about them going and finding ways, there would be a baby alligator come at a
Right.
certain time of year and just be on top of that. You know how they have the fountains? Do you have one of
Yeah.
those fountains in your lake? Yeah, and they would just hang out there, and then when it got to a certain size, they come in and they take it away.
Right. Yeah. The community I had just lived, what, you have two?
2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes. Oh, thank you. I was like, oh, I'm not sure what snip, snip.
Snip, snip. Yep. Time for the conversation. No,
The
just kidding.
community I used to live in, we got a bunch of people from the Northeast coming down to live, first timers, and they're like, we want to live on the lakes here, for not for you, but for people listening. The lakes here, they're like retention ponds because we're 4 feet above the water level, and we are in the Everglades. And if you wonder what happened to the Everglades, you look at the lake. That's where we're putting the water. We're putting the Everglades in little pockets of water all over, or in canals, like what's out by you. That's the canals. So we funnel off the water, and alligators are just in them.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't seen an alligator out there yet, and it's been over a year, our little saying in our family is, just because you haven't seen them, they've seen you.
Right. I totally agree. Do we
And
have time? Yes.
yep, one
Go
more
ahead.
minute. And so it's the neighbors at the other community would constantly be trying to remove the alligators from the lake. And it's like, stop, because there's always going to be an alligator. What you want to worry about is the bears that are getting in your garbage cans and the rattlesnakes that are coming out of the preserve. And they're like, excuse me? And it's like, where do you think you live?
I think a lot of people, and it's 121, 1221. No, it's 121. Whoops.
121. It's still,
I must be on daylight savings time. I'm not sure.
thing is I agreed with you when you said 1221.
Right. I think that just slipped by us all. Okay. I feel better. But I am going to tell you once this really quick tidbit. We were in the Everglades at Flamingo. Friends of ours were renting a houseboat. Like they had come down from up north and they were renting a houseboat. And we went to visit them. And there was a man and he had his daughter who was maybe 4 and their little dog. And he's like, oh my gosh, look at that alligator. Honey, go over and stand with it so I can get a picture. You should have seen the people running. And sure enough, they had been to Disney like for a week or so. And so everything to them was, this is all
Disney. Yeah.
Disney and pretend. And that alligator is sleeping. And I'm like, oh, with little Toto and your little girl?
Yeah. Why don't you just put some hot sauce on them? Or ketchup. Serve them up as an appetizer.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, gosh, I wish we could keep on with this conversation because this would be a good one. To those who have been listening, I haven't seen any chats, so I hope we have put a smile on your face as we realize that it's 1:22, not 12:22. And we'll be back next week to chat on other diverse, interesting things in life. Things that make you go, huh? Which can usually be me and you, right? Going,
Oh,
did I
there
just
we
do
go.
that?
Marcy. Hi, Marcy. Thanks. I hope you made you laugh too. Oh,
So, hey, real quick, were you able to live stream on your stuff? Is that what you're doing?
I have no idea. I
Okay,
wasn't sure
we'll talk
how
on
it
that
worked.
later.
Okay, you
I
know me.
sent you an email. Call me.
Okay.
Later though, I have a 1:30 appointment.
Okay, you have 8 minutes. Counting down. Happy, blessed 3 Kings Day.
Yeah, you too.
Or 3 Queens Day.
3 Queens Day. 3 Queens.
I mean, they could have rewritten history. We're not sure.
They could have.
Could have been 3 women.
Could have. I don't think so. They would have been there on time.
With that ermine stole I saw in one of the paintings. I was like, pretty fancy. Oh, and Happy New Year. Yes. Thank you, Marcy. Happy New Year. Okay.
Who are you chatting to?
Marcy Newman. She's in the chat. Do you only see it on mine?
I don't see my chat is not chatting.
Oh, maybe I did something. We will have to have a lesson.
Oh my gosh. We'll figure it out.
We are a work in progress like everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be in progress with you.
Well, I'm glad you're able to see the chat because I didn't. I can see that one person's been listening. But yeah, I don't know. All right. Well,
all right.
Live and learn.
Work on it.
Live and learn. Stay out of the water if you're in Florida. And don't put a net over the water because you'll catch a heron.
That's right. And they are protected species. So I was really happy that it had they were able to rescue it.
They're beautiful fish. Yeah. Beautiful fish.
They are beautiful in somebody else's yard.
They're beautiful birds.
Oh, Marcy's in Gainesville. Okay.
Oh, there you go. She relates to all of this.
Yes. I want to go to Gainesville because they have springs there, don't they? Or caves or something like that.
Yeah, they don't have the swampiness that we've got, but I'm sure. I think alligators get up there because I think alligators get up to South Carolina.
Oh, yes. We went tubing on I don't know what river, and I kept my feet well out of the water. It's on those springs, and if you're in the spring part, you're okay. But when you get out into the other part, apparently,
good rule.
And there was a snake. I was not good.
Snakes.
Okay, I'm going to talk for you.
Good rule of thumb. If it's not a pool, keep your feet and hands out of it. Love you guys. Take care. See you next week.
Bye, everybody. All right. Love you.